We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Karl. Karl says AMC Theaters has come on board as an investor and venue partner in Dreamscape Immersive. Dreamscape Immersive. Did they not see the movie Dreamscape? With
I didn't.
Dreamscape, isn't that the name of that movie? It may have been before your time, Rob. It was with what's his name? It's going to drive me. But it was when you could jump in people's dreams and affect their dreams and stuff like that. And he's just okay. No, I don't know.
I don't know it.
Anyways, it's a virtual reality company with some big names back in it, including Steven Spielberg, Hans Zimmer, Gore Verbinski, producer Walter Parks, and Disney Imagineer Bruce Vaughan. Okay, so AMC is now on board as well. And Dreamscape has up to 6 people put on VR goggles, gloves, and shoe sensors, and then those 6 people can interact with each other's avatars in a shared virtual reality. Experiences are meant to last about 10 minutes and cost about $15 to $20 a pop. The goal is to spend about $2 million to produce each experience, which will put those 6 participants into various movie franchises from their studio partners, Fox, MGM, and Warner Brothers. So what do we think of this take on VR? Do we think having these set up at existing AMC movie theaters or dedicated venues close by will attract customers and be an effective marketing tool for new movies? Is it really a marketing tool? Is that what the idea here is? I thought the idea is
because it's tying it into existing movie franchises. So this is like a side experience for you to enjoy that ties into an upcoming movie or an existing movie. You know, put yourself in the movie type of thing. But it's not.
I don't see how this is going to make any money. Now, if they're looking at this from a standpoint of, you know, this is going to get more people to go watch the movie, then maybe. But I mean, okay. AMC basically said in the article, "Hey, we've got space that." You know, we're not really doing anything with. What do they mean? Well, I mean, they've got movies that nobody's going to see, but they have to show something because they don't want the thing to be empty. They want to try to make as much money as they can. They could take those spaces and convert them into these things. But with 6 people at a time for 10 minutes, and you got to think about whatever the switch out time is between those things.
Yeah, well, especially with all this, right? It's gloves and sensors that go on your shoes, plus putting the goggles on.
So I thought was this. Let me think of it. My thought process was this. Think about the height of a movie theater.
Yeah.
If you went in there,
adapting a full movie theater. I think they're talking about like where the arcade games used to be.
Oh, it can't be. It's got to be bigger than that. Did you see the pictures of the room they were doing that thing in?
I don't know.
It was pretty big. I think they're going to take one of their movie theaters. I think if they add a second level to it, because it doesn't have to be tall,
No.
right? So that you can basically have 2 groups going at once.
At least.
And then you would maybe 4 groups going at once, and then you could, you would have groups waiting by. They would come out one door, the next group would come in. So basically, you're doing 5 an hour. We'll say 5 an hour at $20 a pop. $120 times 5 times 4 times however many hours they're open. If they can fill it all the time, there's a waiting list and all of that. I still don't see how it's going to make money. I mean, not when they can sell. I mean, well, you know what? If you think about it, how much? Yeah, I mean, a movie theater that is full, they're getting how many thousands of dollars for those tickets alone, not anything else. I don't see how they're making money on this. Do I think it sounds awesome? Oh yeah. Do I want to? Oh yeah, I think it sounds awesome. I want to do it. I want to do it right now. I do it right now. Let's go. I'd do it for sure. It sounds amazing. It might suck. I'd do it once though. Just like 3D.
I'm just worried about the logistics. That's my only the very first time I ever experienced virtual reality. What was I, about maybe 10 or 11 years old or something like that? It was like, the early version where like it was literally like the early LCD displays mounted in the goggles. The resolution was horrible. Everything was like terrible looking. The head mounted displays were exceedingly heavy. But you actually did interact with the other people who were sharing the experience.
Done that.
And it was like at we have a thing that we call the PNE, the Pacific National Exhibition or Playland, during the rest of the year, and that's where they showed it. And then it was there for like 2 years in a row, and then it disappeared until now. Right. That was the end. That was the beginning and the end of virtual reality. And my experience with it.
When I was in college and even younger, there was a place in San Francisco I used to go to that had VR, but it was ridiculously expensive, and it was more like a mech thing. You would sit in it, and the screens were all around you and all of that. They didn't really seem all that VR-y to me.
Yeah, the ones I had, like you actually had sort of a gun, and you were playing like a competitive game with the other people who were in the world, and you were shooting at them with a little, like it was almost like a grenade launcher type of gun, and the graphics were like, you remember back to like the original Star Fox or Virtua Fighter? It was like that level of polygon graphics.
Right. I think when the first VR thing I ever had was still wireframes.
Yeah.
No,
this was like wireframe with like one
shade
texture. It was a shader. It wasn't even a texture map, it was a shader. So
I like the idea, man. I do. I think it could be interesting.
I'm just worried about the logistics. It's so much stuff to put on each person.
I don't care about logistics. They have phones now, the Google Goggle.
Oh, I know.
Whatever they call it.
I mean, if they make the headset similar to the PlayStation VR, I hope it is too, because otherwise people have to take their glasses off and focus, and you don't want the ski mask type goggles that are hard to adjust. Make sure it's like PlayStation VR style goggles, because those are pretty easy to slip on and off, and you don't have to take your eyeglasses off if you wear them. But then you got to put the gloves on. Someone has to put the shoe sensors on. Walking around the space, man, I don't know. I worry about it. It'd be fun, but it's also like $15 or $20 for 10 minutes of that. That would probably
play
online in PlayStation VR instead.
That would probably be the thing that would stop me.
Yeah,
the $20, $15 for 10 minutes. I have a real hard time swallowing that pill, because I am at heart extremely cheap. Right. I do not want to spend money on, unless it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I would probably do it once. I would probably find a way to justify doing it once. We're like, oh, we're here. It's your birthday. Let's all just do it. And
but it also brings to mind like all the people who have bought an Oculus Rift or the Vive or PlayStation VR. Like, would you release these experiences? Is this something? Could I pay $15 or $20 and download this for my PlayStation VR and do it at home? That doesn't seem to be the goal.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 6 people interacting.
It's supposed to be the interactivity, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not super gung ho about it.
Yeah, whatever.
That's me. By the way, Dreamscape 1984, starring Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. That's the one I was thinking of. And then the bad guy in that is the bad guy. Whenever he shows up in the movie, you're like, that's the bad dude. He's always the bad guy. And his name in that movie was Tommy, which always bothered me. But, I mean, I used to love that movie when I was a kid. It scared me because I was very young. In 1984, I was 13, 12, something like that. So anyways, I love that movie. All right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.